Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So today's episode, I'm going to be talking about smelting. Of course, many people are probably going to refer to me about Thomas and Friends sort of lore, where smelting is pretty much the worst place it could. But no. That was a real thing in my childhood that I was kind of scared about. But when I came down to it, looked closer into it, gave a more appropriate examination on it, I found that smelting really is supposedly a better thing that anyone could probably have. Smelting would, of course, be the usage of melting molten steel, and of course the lava like liquid that's flowing around in some vats that you'd probably see in some steel mills or ironworks would be just that, molten metal. It's in a similar fashion to how you could simply heat up rock, but it needs to be at a certain temperature just for it to turn into liquid. And even if it does, then well, it would be a pretty big endeavor to try and find out how a rock could turn into lava. But as for steel turning into molten liquid itself, it's a pretty big affair as well. Except steel can have a higher melting point at some point, which of course would tell you at least 5,000 degrees would be pointed out exactly how hot the liquid itself could get on the surface. But you know what though? We tend to find a pretty good usage for smelting. It would pretty much be as essential as recycling. If you've not checked on that episode, then well, I suggest you go ahead and check it out. It'll be available on the playlist if you're able to find it. But anyways, steel itself can be smelted, iron can be smelted, lots of different metalloids can also be smelted. It's about putting the same type of metal back into production. So this way you could always turn scrap metal or defective metal into liquid again and then just have it poured out into another mold or something. Because back in the day, we'd always have to use molten metalloids out there like iron or steel as a way of crafting some tools and the like. And for some tools that end up very defective with some metal parts, they're chipped or broken off or faded, then of course we could always send those metal parts back into a steel mill, have it smelted, and then repurpose the mold itself with some fresh new metal, which of course would have to cool down for a while. But of course, smelting itself is like that. It's a resourceful way of simply gathering up some of our best metalloids out there on the periodic table, as well as other alloys that we have developed as the human race. But of course, as recycling and other methods of resourceful collecting and repurposing happens to take place, there's certainly a lot of other different methods that you could try and use. Of course, I'll touch more on those in later episodes, but if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.